The energy was just there. Everything was flowing. Everything was great. And that's how I know that this is what I want to do. Like, YouTube is my thing, okay? Like, that's what I want to do. And right before I was about to film a YouTube video, like literally right before I was about to go to the camera app, 444. 444 on the time. 444 on the time. I'm like, yeah, like literally the universe will always lead you back to what you're supposed to be doing. Will always lead you back to where your heart is, because that's your mission in life. Wherever your heart is, that's what you're supposed to do in this vessel. You know, you're chosen this vessel, you're in this vessel for this life. Where your passion is, that's what you're supposed to do in this life. And you just need to do it. Like, all of these external things, responsibilities, I gotta do this, it's all illusory. Like, it literally actually doesn't matter. This is what I want to do. This is what I love. This is my passion. My passion is creating. My passion is making art. My passion is being in love with life. And that's what I want to do for a job. What I want to do for a job is being in love with my life, because I am always in love with my life. So why not get paid to be in love with my life? And I can do that. And I can make money doing whatever I want to do. And I'm going to continue to create. I'm going to create and create and create and create and create. And nobody's going to stop me from creating, because this is my purpose in life, is to create art of all kinds, and to see art and to hear art. And I am just art, and life is art, and life is great. And I love life, and I love my life, and I want to share it with the world. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let me have a drink of this. No surprise, I'm back. I'm back like a heart attack on YouTube. Something recently that happened to me that made me realize a really big lesson about life, that a lot of people, they haven't honed the skill yet to listen to their self and listen to their body and trust themselves. Because that's really what it's about. It's about trust and not having fear, but trusting yourself in spite of the fear. Because sometimes what the universe be talking about don't be making no sense. Learning that lesson was why I wasn't on YouTube. I recently spent a lot of time being stuck somewhere where my body was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. But I wasn't listening to her. For reasons that a lot of people might relate to, because there's a lot of people in situations where they know they don't want to be somewhere, they don't want to do this, or they want to talk to a person. It could be even small things like not wanting to talk to a person, but you just ignore it because you don't want to be rude. It's things like that. But that manifests into the bigger things where people are like, I'm at a dead-end job I don't want to be at. I'm doing this and this is just not what I want to do. Or, you know, things like that. And I recently learned that lesson and how important it is to have that knowledge that you need to trust yourself and listen to your body whenever, all the time. Because that's the only way that you're gonna allow God to guide you. Because if you're sitting here not listening to yourself, and those are the signs that spirit gives to you to guide you to where you want to be, but you're not listening to it, you know. So that's all I'm gonna talk about today, because my YouTube channel is a compilation of me talking about lessons I learned from experiences I've had in my life. That's basically what my channel is. I'm talking about lessons I learned from the experiences in my life. And so that's what I'm doing today. I didn't like this. Ooh.
There you go.
Thank you. Say hi to Instagram.
What's up, Insta?
I was talking about them.
Oh.
Who invited him in this conversation?
My bad.
Because I was talking about the girls. We're talking about me and you.
My bad, girls. I'm gonna stay my ass right over here.
Stay in nigga lane.
I'll stay in nigga land.
I gotta say hi to Instagram real quick, y'all. Let y'all know that I'm here. I'm here for the girls and the gays. And the men too. You know. But I'm really here for the girls. And we're vibing and we're healing and we're talking about the shit nobody wants to talk about. ladies, listen, your body, the God within you, you know, we're all gods walking the earth, has something called intuition. And your intuition is like, you know how Christians say that God is all-knowing and all-seeing? Well, so are you. And there's an intuition within you that proves that. You get feelings about stuff. You know, a vibe. Everybody's talking about a vibe. A vibe. That's intuition. You have a vibe because you have a feeling about things and situations and people. And also the universe. Jah, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, the higher power, which is just all pure consciousness, that higher power is guiding every single person that's here in your life. And your intuition is to help guide you on your way. And sometimes when we are going out into the world and we leave our comfort zone, or we're not in a place that makes us feel, you know, comfortable based on the things that we were conditioned to believe when we were younger, like between like 1 and 7, the things we were conditioned to believe, they cause us to have thoughts about the world that may not necessarily be true, but you make them true by holding that thought. Because of those thoughts and because of those illusory responsibilities and things that we feel, we stay in situations or with people or do things that we necessarily don't want to do or we don't feel might be the right place, but we stay there because we feel that we need to stay there. We feel that we need to fulfill a role. You feel that you need to fulfill a role. And that's basically what I recently went through. Some examples of your body trying to tell you something could be panic attacks, physical reactions like feeling sick, stomach hurting, head hurting, or feeling uneasy. I know sometimes when I feel uneasy, my stomach hurts. Things like that. That's your body getting to a point where it's being ignored. So it's making a physical reaction to the external reality that you are participating in at the moment. And you get feelings first from your intuition. You get feelings first that tell you, I don't want to do this, or maybe I shouldn't be here. Or your intuition will tell you something's dangerous about to happen. I know that there's been a lot of people, I've heard a lot of stories about stuff happening, and people were like, I had this feeling, you know, while I was there before that happened. And that's happened to me too before I even knew what intuition was. But when you're younger, you have more of a tendency to listen to your intuition because you just act off how you feel. You're very impulsive, they say, children, but they're really just acting off their intuition, how they feel in every moment. And that's something that we lose when we become adults. Recently, my big break from YouTube was because I started school. So I started school and my mom is in the military. So I was like, you know, there's ROTC at my university. Maybe I should do that, you know? Let me tell you, literally all my life, my family members have been like, oh, are you going to go in the army? You're going to go in the military? Da, da, da. Literally all my life. And I've always not wanted to go. I knew. I didn't want to join the military. I didn't want to do that. It's just, I didn't want to do that. But when I got older and I was realizing, like, you know, what am I going to do in my life? You know, I'm getting older. I'm going to move out. Like, what am I going to do with life? And I guess once I started thinking about that, I started thinking about all the things I've been conditioned to believe and being like, oh, you need a normal job. You need a, you know, something that's socially acceptable to be doing. Something stable. You know, maybe you should just be realistic. You know, those thoughts were coming into my head. And it happens to everybody. But all of those are false and negative beliefs that you have deep set within you from your childhood and how you're raised and how the world is. I was falling victim to those thoughts and those beliefs. So I joined ROTC when I got to university. I joined ROTC. And I created this facade in my own head. And I was like, you know, like, this is good. I'm doing something good. So I'm going to do ROTC, even though I've never wanted to do the military. And even from the beginning, I was like, if I get commissioned as an officer in the military, if I get commissioned, I have to give 4 years of my life to the government because I signed a contract. So I have no choice. It's a permanent decision for 4 months unless I want to go to jail. It's a permanent thing for 4 years. And I'm thinking, oh, it's just 4 years. It's just 4 years. Not realizing that 4 years is a long time to be doing something that you know you don't want to do. That shit's going to feel like forever. And so I did that. And you know, ROTC is actually a really good program. It's actually, even if you don't join the military, I can say that I had a very valuable experience there. And I learned things about being an adult. And I learned things about discipline there. I learned there that if I set my mind to it, I really, really can do whatever I want to do. You know, I was really determined to do it, and I put myself into a mindset that I have to do this, and I'm going to succeed no matter what. And I'm gonna join the military because it's competitive. Because ROTC is to be an officer, so I was really pushing myself, and that showed me, that ROTC showed me how well I act under pressure. And you know, so I had a good run there. It was a good journey. I met a lot of good people. I pushed past my own limits, and it was a great experience. Every experience in life is going to teach you something. That's why there's no such thing as a good or a bad experience. Everything is necessary for your journey and where you're going and what you need to learn in this lifetime. It's all necessary. So even though I didn't want to do it, and in the end I didn't end up becoming an officer, it was still an experience that I needed for my journey. I was getting to a point where it was dawning on me, I did not want to do this. And a deep feeling that I knew that the whole time, that I knew that I didn't want to do this the whole time. And so, as ROTC is going on, there's a lot of signs from the universe that are telling me, this is not your path. This is not what you're going to do. Some of those being, ROTC, when you're joining the military, if you're military affiliated, you know. But it's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So if you want to be in the military, you know, you have to get medically cleared. You have to have all this paper. You have to do a lot. So I was going through those motions, getting my paperwork, getting medically cleared. Yeah, so it's getting down to the wire. Things are getting difficult. But I'm pushing through. And then something happened. I'm not sure what happened, but I started feeling like really deeply that I didn't want to be there. I started like dreading going there. ROTC plus work was draining all my energy. Like I had energy for nothing. Nothing. I had energy for nothing. And I started to feel bad because I was just like falling out of my yoga, my meditation every morning, because I would go to work 5 a.m. so that I could make it to ROTC later in the day. And it was just so much, like, it really takes over your whole life. And I was like, I feel miserable. I don't want to do it. I feel miserable. Like, because my friends, they want to do it. And even though we both agree it takes up all of our time, it's difficult, you know, she deals with it. She's told me about her struggles before, but she deals with it. She really does want to do it, you know. And she's determined. And I was determined too, but I didn't want to do it, and that's the difference. I didn't want to do it. Something can be hard and you still want to do it and you push through. That's the difference between being in a situation where nothing's going right and you feel like, oh, this is so hard, I don't want to do it anymore. It's a difference between something being hard versus you literally not wanting to do it, so it's even harder, you know. If there is something that you want to do, you might have to put in a lot of work and it might not be easy. But if you want to do it, that's just a challenge that you're going to have to overcome. That's different from you having feelings like, I don't want to do this and I feel miserable. It's different from it just being hard. I started to literally have panic attacks at RTC. Before I would have to go work out, I would be like, oh my gosh, like, calm down. Like, my heart would be just going crazy. And I'd be looking at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, oh my God, like, Jog, give me a sign. Is this, do I not want to do this? Should I stay? Should I quit? Give me a sign. Even though the universe been giving me all the signs, like, all the signs be there. You just don't want to listen. And I didn't want to listen because I had illusory thoughts. I was like, I have an illusory responsibility to other people. And I was thinking, I have to do this for them. They expect this from me. I have to fulfill this role because they expect me to. I have to do this because my mom was in the military. It just makes sense for me to do this. This is a respectable job. People are going to be like, oh, she's in the military, you know. I don't have to look at people, you know, looking at me weird or anything if I tell them I'm in the military. It's just something that society would approve of. And all of that was making me fearful of quitting, because my fear was willing to keep me in a place that I didn't want to be for the sake of other people, because the people in RTC expected this from me. I don't want to let people down, you know. And we listen to those thoughts instead of listening to ourselves, and it can have dire consequences. And that's exactly what happened to me. And it's okay that I experience these things, because then I can come and help other people and really drill it into your head that it's important to listen to yourself to stay healthy, spiritually and physically. So, one particular day, I had a panic attack again before PT. I was literally bawling in the bathroom. And I was like, I just don't know what to do. I just feel like, you know, I met a lot of good people here. I don't want to let these people down. I love these people, and I love where I'm at right now. And I felt proud to do RTC. It made me feel like I was doing something important, as if what I want to do isn't important. And I just need a sign, you know, if I should stop doing this, if I should quit. But I already had those signs, and I knew I didn't want to do it, but I just kept on pushing myself to the point where my body was like, okay, you're not listening, so you need a sign, let me give you one. Okay, so I had PT this day. You know, it was summer, so it's hot. It wasn't as hot that day, but it was like 80, 85, 86 up there. And, you know, we're working out, we're out on the field, we're running. You know, if you're in the military, or if you ever did PT with the military, you already know. Okay, it's gruel. Everything's fine. Towards the end of PT, I'm lined up, and we're talking. We're doing the end of PT thoughts, you know. And I'm looking around, and I'm like looking at the sky. And something just did not feel right. I literally like felt like, I don't think I feel good right. Like, I don't think something isn't right now. I don't know. I've never felt like that in my life. I kind of felt like out of my body, but at the same time, it was like, I know I don't feel good right now. Like, something's not right now. I didn't know what it was, but I just felt so weird. And I'm not hearing anything that they're talking about or anything. And then I passed out. And from this part on, I'm telling you from what other people are telling me. Because to this day, I literally don't remember any of that. I don't remember until I woke up and the freaking paramedics and everybody was there. So, yeah, I was feeling like that. And the people that were there, they told me I passed out. I forgot that part. We were about to do a plank competition. So we were about to get on the ground and do a plank competition. Mind you, this is after PT. We've been working out that whole time, you know, like, we're tired. But we're about to do a plank competition. So I'm feeling like that, and then we get on the floor to do the plank. And while I'm in the plank position, or I thought I was going to the plank position, I don't know what happened. But we were in the line, and I passed out. I started having a seizure. I've never had a seizure before in my life. Never. And I guess I was out of it for long enough for them to call the ambulance, or call the police or whoever they call. And so they called them. They came, and I was still out of it for a little bit when the first paramedics came. And then, sorry, I don't know all of what happened, but when I really came to, and now that I can remember coming to, when I came to, I'm gonna go from there, like what I remember from there. So when I came to, the paramedics were there. They were like holding me up so I wouldn't fall. And all I remember is not remembering. So when I woke up, I see the you know, the stretcher from the ambulance in front of me. That's the first thing that comes to my vision. And then I'm like, okay. And then there's two paramedics there like holding me up, and I start freaking the fuck out. I start freaking the fuck out. I started geeking because that shit scares me. I don't like all that, and I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, why are they here? Like, why are these people holding me? What's going on? And so I start freaking out. Obviously I suffer from panic attacks. That's been a part of my life. And I've had pretty bad panic attacks before. I've talked about this in one of my other videos, but I've never had a panic attack that bad. I started freaking out. All I remember is like hyperventilating and feeling like I couldn't breathe, and that my heart was beating so fast I could literally hear it. Like I could literally hear it in my ears. And so I'm like laying back, or they're laying me back, and all I see is my commander that I had in RTC like talking to me. I remember him and everybody. I don't know, but he was like talking to me and like trying to calm me down or whatever. And so that happened, and the panic attack it stayed for a long time. They were trying to calm me down and talk to me, and I don't know, I was freaking out. They said I passed out again a couple of times before they called my mom and all this other stuff. So yeah, that happened. They took me on an ambulance, I went to the hospital, all that stuff. And basically they don't know what caused the seizure, but it was determined like I was just having a severe panic attack. And at first that happened to me, and it scared the fuck out of me. I was scared that it happened, and I didn't understand why it happened, and I was also embarrassed. I had nothing to be embarrassed about, but I was embarrassed. And I'm not connecting it to any of this. I'm not connecting it at the time. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, you know? So after that, I was still going through the motions. I ended up getting one of the paperwork that I needed, but something was still like, that was still sticking with me a lot. It was sticking with me a lot. And it was also hard because when I came back to RGC, I could tell like people, they were like watching me a lot, and it was just different. I ended up being able to correlate why that happened to me. I meditated about it, and I talked to myself about it some more. And one day I was like, you know, that's like the biggest sign ever. That day, I didn't even realize it until later. That day earlier, I was like, please, if this is not what I'm supposed to do, please give me a sign, because I don't want to do it, but I don't want to let people down. I feel like I have to do this. I need a sign. But I've been getting signs, and then that shit happened. That's like the biggest reaction your body can give you, to go to those extremes, like a physical reaction. It was about me not listening to myself, and I'm literally already putting my body in distress by not going by what I feel. I'm having panic attacks about the shit, you know? And so I told that story to give a great example of a physical reaction that your body can have when you are not listening to yourself for an elongated period of time, and how you're putting your body in a state of distress, because you're ignoring yourself. There's plenty more examples that I could give about times where my body has a physical reaction when I don't listen to myself, and I don't do what I need to do to keep myself safe. And I should listen to my feelings, but I did not listen to myself, and another physical reaction came from that. Emotionally, physically, nightmares, physical reactions like hurting, feeling sick, because you aren't taking your body seriously. And this is about trust. This is about trust in yourself. If you don't trust yourself, how do you expect to be comfortable to go into what's uncomfortable to meet the goals that you want to meet? How do you expect yourself to live a beautiful, abundant, and healthy life if you don't trust yourself enough to listen to your own emotions? And even when it seems like, I have to do this, or you have a illusory responsibility to something other than yourself, that's why it's illusory, because it's not to you. It's to the beliefs that you've made up in your own head, or that other people have told you. And that's what I was doing. I was staying there because I was like, well, society sees this as a good job, Why should I go into the uncomfortableness and being a content creator and being an entrepreneur? Why should I do that when that's fearful? But that's exactly what was causing those physical reactions, because I knew that that's what I really wanted to do. And that will manifest. You see people with diseases being sick at dead-end jobs, desk jobs, doing stuff that they don't want to do. This type of stuff manifests in all different ways. Like the book I read, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, he literally talks about that. It can literally manifest into physical diseases. And then that camera died, and so we're back on this. If you have trouble listening to yourself, it's probably because you just don't listen to yourself, or you're not well versed in knowing the signs of your intuition, or how your intuition feels and what you need to look out for. And this is common. This is common because we're not taught to listen to ourselves. We're actually taught to do the very opposite. And we're taught in the society, in this world, that we need to do the opposite of what our body feels, and not to listen to ourselves and listen to our own feelings and emotions. And really to be spiritually healthy, we're not taught that at all. So you need to know the difference between when you need to listen to yourself in a bad situation or any type of situation versus fear. Because you could take my video and say, hey, well, I feel like I really don't want to do this, so maybe I shouldn't do it. When sometimes it's just fear, and that will stop you from meeting your goals. It just means that you're uncomfortable in the unknown. And so because you're uncomfortable in the unknown, you will draw back and be fearful of it and not do it and self-sabotage, because you're uncomfortable to go into a new world that you may not have experienced before. But that's the only way that you're going to be able to meet your goals. That's the only way that you're going to upgrade yourself and move forward. You can't act on that fear and say, oh, well, I'm listening to myself, because sometimes it's just anxiety, and that's stopping you from being where you want to be. Don't let your fear and anxiety hold you back from becoming the person that you want to become. That is my point. Oh, my camera's doing a little, hello, do you see me? Okay. This is how I know the difference between my intuition and anxiety. My anxiety, she's very loud. She's very like, hey, please, I don't think I should do this. Should I do this? Should I? She's very much like that. Thought after thought after thought. Have you ever seen Inside Out 2? Anxiety. Like that's anxiety. That's literally how she is, okay? She's throwing thoughts at you left and right. She doesn't shut up. She's an uneasy feeling like your intuition can give you, but it's a different type of uneasy feeling. It's like, where you feel just like choked up, and like you don't know what's your next move, and you're just like asking question after question, and it's just not a grounding feeling. It's more like sporadic and uncomfortable type of feeling. And your mind, if your mind is racing, that's anxiety. If your mind is racing, that is definitely anxiety. When you feel anxiety, you need to do something to ground yourself immediately, or have a mantra to say, or something to calm yourself down. And once you do that, that's when your intuition will speak to you. Your intuition is not screaming at you. She's not going left and right in your head. Sometimes it just be one sentence or one feeling. And if it's about something that you've been questioning yourself, once you feel that feeling, you will feel right. You will feel that it's right in your body. You will feel that it is right. And sometimes I just have to... Sometimes I have to do that to hear her, because that is the state that your intuition is going to talk to you in. And your intuition doesn't come from your ego. Your intuition is not It's not an egotistical thing. It's because anxiety can be ego, and that's why I'm bringing that up. Anxiety can be ego because fear can be ego because it's your ego trying to protect itself and stay in a comfort zone even when something's good for it, or like your ego will self-sabotage something good, or like a relationship, because it feels that the bad is safer because that's what you're used to. That's your ego. Your intuition is egoless. Your intuition will speak to you in a calm manner, in a calm state, and it can be an uneasy feeling. It can be a feeling of, okay, I think I need to leave. That can be intuition, and that's what I was feeling. It was my intuition in times when I would be thinking about RTC, and I would be like, I don't want to do this. Or any situation that you're in, I don't really want to do this. What I do personally is I literally ask myself a question. Like, I literally be like, is RTC something I want to do? Just in my personal life, an example of mine, I will ask myself, is RTC what I really want to do? And it would just be a plain sentence, no. Like, I'm literally telling you that's how simple it is, okay? Because you're being guided, and you really truly need to listen to yourself, because it is the God within you. Like, listen to me like you should be listening to yourself. It is literally the God within you trying to guide you, and you're going against it. You're still doing this, or you're still picking up that bottle when over and over again you know that that's not what you want to do. Or that this isn't a place that you should go, but you're scared. And so instead of listening to yourself, you choose to be scared. And that's what I was doing. When my body said no, I should have been like, okay. And eventually that's what I did. One day I was thinking about it. I had a really good day this day. I'm very calm. I'm in an amazing mood. And I'm eating lunch outside. And I was thinking about something. I don't remember what I was thinking about. I don't know if I was thinking about something or I seen somebody or something that reminded me of it. But I was thinking about RTC and all the people I met and everything, all the good things. And I was also thinking about, the things that I like to do. And what I was actually doing earlier that day was, thinking about my content and everything. And I hadn't been thinking about it in a long time because I was stuck in the wrong place where I didn't even have the energy to put towards my hobbies and passions. And I was like, what's wrong with not wanting to do that? Literally, my body just said that to me. That was the thought that came to my head. And I'm just like, right. I don't think I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm realizing how happier I would be if I wasn't doing this, and the things I would fill my time with if I wasn't doing this. I was constantly daydreaming about what I could be doing that was not RTC. Another way that I'm being told that that's just not where I want to put my energy. Because where you put your attention is where your energy is flowing. So the reason I wasn't doing my content was because all my attention was on RTC, and all my energy, therefore, was flowing to that. And that is why it was going so well. Because I truly was focusing on that. Because I truly was using my fear to push me forward. To push me to do something I didn't want to do, because I felt that that's what I needed to do to be accepted in the world. And when I realized that day, and I'm just sitting down eating, I'm like, I do not want to do this. And I decided I'm not going to punish myself anymore. I'm not going to make myself suffer. I'm not going to continue to put my body in an unhealthy state. I don't want to do it. I don't feel safe there. My body is trying to tell me this is not the path that you're going on. So that day, I made that decision. And I went against my fears. I went against my anxiety. I went against everything that was telling me to stay in a comfort zone, to stay in a comfortable place, to stay in a place that I knew would make me money and get me far and that people would accept. To come out of that comfort zone and say, I'm actually going to do what I want to do. Because all that stuff is illusory, and all that stuff I can do doing my passion. So why am I going to sit and stay in a place I don't want to be? So I went against all of that, and all the fears that I was going to let people down, and all the fears that this was not the right decision. based on those negative beliefs. I went against all that and I went and quit. And it was the hardest thing ever. It seems so simple to other people, maybe, you know, if you're not in my shoes or you've never been in a situation like that, but it really was hard because I went against my own programming. I basically went against my own programming and was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna go completely to the unknown and trust myself. And if I don't want to do it, then it's probably not right for me. I felt pain because I knew that this was going to shatter their reality of me in their head that they made up. There's this role that I need to feel and that I should be feeling, that they feel I should be feeling, and I felt I should have been feeling, and that's what I was doing. Filling a role, and I felt pain that I was going to let down their perception of me. That's really what it was about. And I went against that, and I decided to listen to myself. And it's brought great things. I just feel much happier now. I felt much happier after quitting. I felt rejuvenated. I felt amazing. And all my time back, I was able to do so much. And as you can see, we're back on YouTube and I'm back to creating. I've been creating so much. I immediately felt happier. And that's the other thing with your intuition. When you do something from your intuition, you immediately feel relief. When I did that, I immediately felt relief. I felt like I knew this was the right thing because I felt amazing. My body, even though I was scared and I had anxiety about doing it in the first place, I knew that that's what I needed to do. And I only had anxiety because my ego wants to protect me. But I decided that I was going to listen to myself and do what I needed to do to go on my journey and not stay in places that are not going to get me to where I want to be. And I felt amazing. I felt great. I felt like very grounded and like I made the right decision. And that's what your intuition will feel like. It's just a weight taken off your shoulder, a feeling of right. It just felt real, it felt right. And I encourage everyone to do that, to listen to themselves fully and to feel that feeling, because that's how you're going to get where you want to go. You got to put yourself in spaces that may be uncomfortable. You got to take yourself out of your comfort zone and stop doing things that other people expect you to do, because this is your life, not theirs. And you would be very miserable if you kept on living like that. So ground yourself, do some meditation, and figure out what it is you really want to do and do that. No matter any reasons why you think you can't do it, no matter anything, you can do it. You only can't do it because you say you can't do it. So go against the grain, trust yourself, even if you're scared to do it. So yeah, that is why I'm back, because I decided to trust myself and listen to myself. And I know that this is what I want to do. I want to talk to the girls. I want to create and live a slow, loving life. And I wasn't in the space to be doing that, so I had to leave that. That would have been a long 4 years. I was going to be a police officer. I do not want to do that. Like, what was I thinking, right? I'm going against the grain. And that's what you have to have the courage to do. You have to have the courage to trust yourself. You have to have the courage to trust yourself. Well, damn, that might be the video title. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back like a heart attack, and more coming. More of Maya. More creating. More creating. This is Maya's doing what she wants to do era. Yeah. Shawnee?
Yes, ma'am.
Say bye. It was so hard. It was kind of hard recording them in here.
Bye, y'all. Cheers, y'all.
Todos. Thank you for your presence, and I hope you resonated with something here. And I love ya.